Hello. Thank you for reaching out to my post. This is me. I'm making a video, not a good explainer. Give me a second. Okay. I'm making this video because I don't want to waste anybody's time. I have a vision of what I think that this group could be and how it should work. And I'm going to pitch that to you here. And if you like it, then I have some steps that we can take to move this project forward. And if you don't, that's okay. Why am I doing this? Because I want to make movies. I want to write, act, and produce in big movies. And I know that the only way to do that is to get better. And the only way to get better is to make more and more films, get to the finish line. I have tried to make films solo, and it's just not fun. It's not enjoyable. Collaboration is it's a beautiful thing that I want. But why this group specifically? Because the kind of problem I see with the other groups, like filmmaking groups, is that you already have to have some sort of finished script in order to kind of really move anything forward. I have a different strategy that I will outline in a second. And also, like it's hard to always keep starting over, you know? Every project you have to make new friends and different people. I want to change that. What I envisioned is a group of people that are all kind of in the same stage, kind of newer, kind of trying to get the hang of things, but they still really want this career. We're all hungry for a fun, fulfilling, creative career, but it's a little bit intimidating reaching out to people who seem like they have it all together. But this group here could be a place where we're all on the same page. We're all a little embarrassed to maybe show our last short film, or we're just maybe not as good as we want to be yet. This is a safe place for us. So here's the logistics. If any of you have read the book Rebel Without a Crew from Robert Rodriguez, look it up if you haven't. It's not a big deal. I could just talk to you about it. What am I doing? Basically, the idea is not to write a script first and then try to find the people who can help you make that thing, but instead look at all of the resources that you have and then try to build a film out of those things. And with this group, we can all pull all of our resources together to be able to make something genuinely awesome. This fixes two problems that I see. Writing a script for just anything, like anything can happen, is a little bit difficult. Like it's almost easier to write when you have specific constraints. And also, if you only write with the things that you know you can pull off, you know you can pull it off. What do I want from you? I want to know what you want out of this, and I want to help you get that. Because if you don't get what you want out of this, then you can just leave and you're not going to have a good time. That's not what I want. I want us all to be able to succeed and have the careers that we want. The kind of dream I have is that after 6 months, we've made 5 to 6 films. I want us to all just be getting more and more work. Like, hey, I booked this really big, cool thing, or somebody asked me to be a DP on this thing, or I'm directing this other project, because our portfolios are getting so big that we're getting some genuinely serious work. Also, I'm a bit of an optimist. I think that at the end of 6 months, if we build some sort of team, I think we're going to be able to build some sort of feature pitch or a pilot episode. Like, I don't think that we have to stop at just short films. I think that we can progress into feature-length films. Something I think that is important to mention is, I've told you a little bit of what I want, but I also need to tell you of what I don't want. Is I don't want anybody to overpromise and underdeliver. I think that you can only do what you can do. And if you can only realistically give a couple hours in the evening, maybe 1 or 2 nights out of the week, that's okay. I think that's totally cool. What I think is not necessarily cool is say, hey, I could be here for a huge amount of time and I can dedicate all of these resources, but when it comes time to actually making the film, like we already wrote it with all of these things in mind, and you said you were going to deliver, and then you just can't do it. So I want you guys to just try to be as honest as possible about what you can realistically do so that we can just build around that. I'm not asking anybody to be a hero, anybody to do anything crazy. I'm not trying to kill yourself over these projects. I want it to all be very sustainable for all of us, so it's not too heavy on anybody's shoulders. How I think the process is going to work is I've created this little Google form that I'll send out, or I'll attach in a link after this, and it has a bunch of questions for like what resources that you can bring to it, what you want to do, what you can do, other stuff. But what I'll do with that form is I'll take all of the locations and the things that we have access to, and then anybody who wants to be a writer, I'm going to take that and give that to the writers so that they can create a pitch. But a caveat I forgot to mention is don't share too much, because we're still strangers. We need to get to know each other before we share too much information. And how the form works is only I'll be able to see it. And if you share too much information, I'm not going to give that to the writers. I'll just talk to you first and then, give it. But this form has all of our resources. Anybody who wants to try the writing, I have another document that can help you write a pitch. And so you take all of our resources and the pitch document, you try to come up with something. And then our first call is a pitch meeting. And then we all get to vote on the pitch, the script that we want to move forward in the progress. And then the next stage in the process is the directors get to make a pitch on the script. There are some caveats I'll get into in a second. And then after the directors make a pitch, we start casting. Here are the couple of caveats. That if you're a writer-director, I think you should just direct that film. I don't want to take your story idea and then give it to a different director. But also, if you're a writer-actor and you wrote a part for yourself, I'm not trying to take that from you. You are just automatically assigned to that role. But where the rest of the cast, we can fill those out with our bunch of people who want to be in it. And as soon as everybody's attached, everybody's in their spots, we run. We get started and we get this thing done. I forgot to mention that as soon as the pitch is selected, writers need to start writing immediately. And I don't know how all the writers want to work. Some people might want to work alone, but if you don't, we got a bunch of people who want to write. Let's get together. Let's have some sort of like group meet or like a video call or something where we can all contribute, or maybe there's a group, like a shared document of something and everybody can put their notes on, because writing a script in this amount of time is kind of difficult to do alone. But if we all pitch in, we could do it together. That's great. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, and now after we have made the film, what are we going to do with the film? I think that could be something that we all discuss together. For sure, everybody gets it for their reel or their portfolio. But every film is kind of different. Some have like a feeling of, let's just put this on the internet and see what it can do, or let's send this to some festivals and we can work out how to do that. But that's after we get there. I think this is the pitch. I think I have said my piece here. I'm sorry that it's a little bit chaotic. And now is the time for you to decide if you want to be a part of this thing or you just want to quietly step away. That's okay. Anybody who fills out the form, that is the next step. That is, if you want to commit to this thing, then fill out the form, and I'm going to take everybody who filled out the form, and we're going to move to a different group chat that is dedicated to getting this first film done. We'll set up the video call, and we will move from there. But for this group chat here, if you don't want to move on this project, that's okay. If we need extra people, maybe we can come to it, or we might just be able to see you in a different Facebook group. But if you're committed, the very next step is to fill out the form. It takes 10 to 15 minutes. If you want to leave some things blank, that's okay. We'll figure that out. After I post this link, I'm going to give it a couple of days for everybody to fill it out. And after that, I need to gather all of that information and then hand over the relevant information to the writers. There will be a question in there if you want to write, or even just try to write, so that I can give you the proper information. It'll be in the form. But once I get all of us into a separate group, I will then put down a poll of when we can meet for this meeting. And that should be roughly 8 to 10 days from now. It should not take longer than that, because I don't want to lose this momentum, because I feel like I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited, but we can do this. This is going to be good. I'm sure there are some more logistical things that I have not talked about or I forgot. So if you have any questions, please drop them in this chat. Maybe I can answer them. Maybe we can come up with a solution together. That is my pitch, and I am genuinely grateful for you for reaching out. You've brought some joy to me, and I feel a little hope, I'm excited for the potential that we have together, like the careers that we could build. Just feel awesome. Okay. Hopefully I'll see your information. All right.